Okay guys, so today I'm going to be going over the cutter position and breaking the skills down into different areas and showing what types of skills that you need in order to be a successful cutter. Okay, so when you play the cutter position, depending on the offense that you play, the types of cuts that you make can be very different. But I feel like there are some core groups of skills that no matter what offense you play in will be relevant. And that's what we're going to be going over in this video. So I'm going to be focusing on 7 different areas that I feel like are pretty universal. And they are fitness, reading ability, catching, route running, vision, ultimate IQ, and adaptability. These are the 7 core groups of skills that I feel like all cutters need. And you need all of these skills in order to be successful. If one of these areas is really weak, it's going to be an issue. So all of these things have to come together in order for you to be a successful cutter. Even if you're really good at one area, if one area is really weak, it's going to be very difficult for you to be consistent, because that one area is going to really plague you, because all of these skills are really important. So let's say that you are really good at catching, but you're not very good at reading the disc. Well, it's not going to matter a whole lot, because if you're not under the disc to be able to catch it, that's a big problem. Or the same thing of maybe you're really good at catching and really good at reading, but you're not very good at route running and you're never open. And that's just as much of a problem. So you have to be good at the entire process. I really want to emphasize that. And you really need to work on the areas that you're weak in order to make your overall game successful. Okay, so let's go over each of these areas separately and go over just like what these skills mean or what they look like. So the first group is fitness. And if you're not fit, it's going to be very hard to be a successful cutter. Playing the cutter position is a very endurance-based position. You need to be able to make cuts for a very long period of time, and they need to be very explosive, and you potentially have to do this for a couple minutes at a time. So the more fit you are, the better that you put yourself in a position to be successful. So if you're not very fit, this is an area that can really improve your game, because it can help you make cuts when your team needs you to do that. So the next group is your reading ability. Being able to read a disc means that when you see the disc in the air, you know where it's going to land. And this skill is really important, because no matter how good you are at catching, if you're not actually getting in a position to get under the disc, then you're never going to be able to catch the disc. So this skill is really important, and the better your reading skill is, the better position you're going to be in when trying to catch the disc. So the next group is catching. So even if you can get open all the time, if you can't catch the disc, that's a problem. So you need to have a high level of skill in catching so that when somebody throws you the disc, you can catch it. So the next skill is route running. Route running is when you run a very specific cut to a spot on the field. Route running also includes how sharp you can make your cuts and how efficient your line is and how deceptive you are to where you are going. Somebody that's good at route running can get a lot of separation because of their technique. So this is a skill that's really important for cutting, because it's very important that you can get open in order for you to be able to catch the disc. So the next skill is what I call vision. Vision is when you see open space down the field and then you run a very specific cut to that space because you know you can get open. You can also kind of call this group instincts, but basically this group is when you are seeing open space and then running a cut to that space, and it wasn't necessarily a planned cut, it was just you saw that that space was open and then you cut to this. This is a trait that a lot of really successful cutters have, that they're able to see open areas and then exploit it, and then they're able to get really big plays because of that. The next group is what I call Ultimate IQ. So understanding where the foresight is and just a lot of other ultimate concepts is really important for when you're cutting. If you're cutting to spots where your thrower can't throw to, even if you're wide open, you're never going to get the disc. So you have to have some base level of knowledge, of understanding of where your throwers can throw to and how you need to get there. And that's what this group of skills is. And the last group of skill is adaptability. So the more adaptable you are, the more systems that you're going to be able to play in, and the more consistent overall you're going to be. So you don't really want to be just only efficient in one type of offense, because if you ever go to a new team, then you may not be effective anymore. You want to be able to transition your game to multiple offenses and multiple teams. And what this skill is basically how many routes can you run, how it also has to do with some ultimate IQ. So just how adaptable are you to new throwers, to new situations, and just what your team needs you to do. And that's going to be it. So like this if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to share this with anyone you think could benefit from it. This is Ultimate 101, and I'll see you next time.